Before a child talks, they sing. Before they write, they draw. And as soon as they stand, they dance. Art is fundamental to human expression. This is a quote I saw recently by Felicia Rashad, and I think it explains not only the nature of art perfectly, but also the pieces I saw at the opening reception at the Crossland Gallery for the exhibit called On the Map, El Paso and Beyond. This exhibit displayed many styles of art by a variety of artists that all contributed to an overarching theme of culture and representation of the city of El Paso. The pieces ranged from paintings to sculptures to photographs and were all rated in terms of award categories, and they were all also available for purchase. One of the first things I noticed was the use of vibrant colors such as yellow on an array of naturalistically styled pieces. Of course, one of the things that defines the Sun City are the mountains, desert landscapes, and bright sun, and these all explain this recurring theme in these pieces. Looking at this piece called 16th Avenue in particular, you can see artistic techniques such as frantic paint strokes on the street in multiple colors, maybe trying to explain the busyness and diversity of these kinds of cities. This was another piece, called Cityscape, that brings a starry night by Van Gogh sort of vibe to downtown El Paso. You can see the artist used yellow as an attention-grabbing color by contrasting it with darker shades of blue, both in the sky and on the ground, almost pushing the viewer's gaze towards the plaza, or the focal point of this piece. Starting with the zoomed-in view of this piece, called Venice City of Love, you can see the use of oils to create depth and texture, done by the blending of colors across the piece, such as yellows and purples, which are actually complementary colors. You can also see actual texture created by the impasto technique, which is the layering of the oils and patterns, which creates the depth in the leaves of the tree. This is also seen in the water, which gives it an overall illuminated look and denotes the direction of the water around the paddle and the boat. Here you can see that the water around the paddle is forming waves, implying motion of the boat. This is visually pleasing and ultimately brings attention to the boat ride, a symbol of romance in Italy. A different, unique approach I noticed in the gallery was the use of geometric figures, which contrasts with the rest of the naturalistic-themed pieces. This is interesting because although most of the concepts in these pieces are found in nature, they are actually being represented as objects and are almost called on to be viewed unemotionally. Other pieces effectively blend geometric and irregular figures to create a balance between humanity and objectivity, using patterns to help all the different components become one. For example, in this piece titled Waiting for His Return, you can see that the dog is an organic, natural form, shown by the lack of angles. This contrasts with the background, which is filled with more implied geometric figures such as the window frames and shutters, which serves as an effective artistic device that brings attention to the dog as the subject. Apart from these, the majority of the paintings were landscapes and sceneries of nature, and they all tended to portray warmer colors that tended to centralize around earthly tones. While looking at them, I noticed that while they were all different, for example, one leaf did not look like another from painting to painting, they mean and represent the same things through the use of symbols, such as the cactus, as seen in the few paintings here, that define the El Paso region, as well as cities like it. This particular piece, called Fall Hills Lake, stood out to me from the rest because it vividly uses yellows and oranges and reds, with no chance for the viewer to find a break in between. The presence of the implied horizontal lines showed by the reflection of the houses in the lake give this piece an overall calm and relaxing mood, almost making the viewer feel like it's one of their own happy memories. As my tour around the gallery came to an end, this was one of the last pieces that caught my attention, and it may have even earned the title of my favorite work of the night. Being one of the largest scaled works in the gallery, this piece used multiple types of media, such as newspaper for a collage-like background, as well as acrylic paints on top for more distinct details. It also uses a similar color scheme as some of the other works, such as the reds and oranges and yellows, but it also adds an edge by including black, indicating more shadowy and dark concepts and making it feel like it encompasses the viewer in an important scene of a comic-like story. Overall, I enjoyed my visit to the Crossland Gallery. The pieces were all unique, and the artists who made them clearly have such high levels of talent. I would definitely consider viewing different galleries to see how varying themes affect how artists structured their works of art, and maybe even use that knowledge for future endeavors of my own.